What's going on,
What's
world?
happening?
It is KC Vibe, and we are back for episode two of the podcast.
Episode 2, season 2.
Oh, yeah. Today, our topic is, are you a giver or a receiver? But don't hang up too quick. It ain't what you think. Tune in. We'll be back in about 35 seconds. Oh, you know I love a good
Oh, I
vibe
know you
now.
do. Hey,
Say, won't you come and vibe with us? You can vibe with us. You can come and vibe with us. Say, won't you come and vibe with us? You can vibe with us. You can come and vibe with us. Say, won't you come and vibe with us? You can vibe with us. You can come and vibe with us. Say, won't you come and vibe with us?
Hey.
And just like that, we are back.
You already know we back like we never left, my dog. My
So,
boy.
what's up? So today, babe, we're going off your topic.
All right, what's that topic? I forgot what it was.
You literally just came up with it.
I did. God, what is it though? You know my memory bad.
Give and take, baby. Give and take.
Give or take.
Are you a giver or receiver?
Oh, yeah. No, it was actually, in order to be a receiver, you got to be a giver.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of based on that format. But, it's one and the same.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All
So you
right.
want to dibble and dabble in that just a little bit today?
Yeah, first of all, we're going to read the quote. I think you got the quote on your phone. I
Quote
don't
of the
have it
week.
on my phone.
Quote
Yeah,
of
go
the
ahead and
week.
read the quote of the week.
Quote of the week is from a actor by the name of Craig T. Nelson. If you guys want to be more familiar with Craig T. Nelson, he is the dad from The Incredibles, and yes, he looks just like that character, Craig
The
T.
Disney
Nelson.
movie?
Yeah,
Incredible.
that's who
Okay,
this is.
okay.
So his quote was, "The superpower that I would choose would be compassion, because that's what I think it takes to make it through life and understanding. A give and take, it saves an awful lot of resentment. I said
Uh,
resistance. Resentment.
okay. Give and take. Give and take.
Yeah. We'll run back
So,
one more time.
yeah, run it back.
You
Run it back.
kind of
Run
want to
it back.
stumble over my words. Let's see. I can read, y'all. Let's see. The superpower that I would choose would be compassion, because that's what I think it takes to make it through life and understanding. Give and take. It saves an awful lot of resentment. What is up with me today? I can't read, baby.
Hmm. Well, they understand.
I got an
So,
education, I promise.
so give and take.
Uh huh.
He said it takes a lot of what? Resentment.
It takes away an awful lot of resentment.
An awful lot of
hmm
resentment. Okay.
I think what he means by that is if you don't do the give and take type thing, there's a lot of stuff you end up resenting in life because it's
Mhm.
like, dang, if I would have just, sacrificed this, that, and the third,
Mhm.
maybe something would have went a little smoother.
I feel you. Yeah. So what does resentment mean? What is resentment? Because in order to understand what he's saying with give and take,
Mm-hmm.
we got to understand what he means by resentment.
Okay.
So let's go that route. See what resentment
I
stands
will
for.
look up the
Yeah,
definition.
look
And
that
while I
up.
look up the definition, you want to tag into what made you want to discuss this topic?
Well, yeah, what made me want to go this route was the fact that you and this is gonna be based on relationships, guys. This whole podcast right here. I mean, it's gonna be some sound advice as well, but this gonna be principle based on relationships. Now,
Mm-hmm.
when you in a relationship, in a successful relationship,
Right.
it's me giving 100%, you giving 100%,
Right.
and we come together to make a whole
Right.
and be
My bad.
successful.
Uh-huh.
Now,
I put
every
the
relationship
phone's
ain't
on
like that.
silent. My fault.
It's all good. Now, every relationship ain't like that though.
Right.
You got a person that's probably giving 75%,
Mm-hmm.
the other person giving a 25%. You know, 50-50 is cool,
Mm-hmm.
but you want to go above and beyond when it comes to the person that you love and the relationship that you're with. You got people giving 10%, 95%, 95%. Hell, some people 0%, and the other person giving 100%.
I heard though, like I was listening to, I don't know if it was a podcast, TV show, whatever I was listening to, and they said that when it comes to a relationship, I've always said it's 100-100, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they said sometimes in that relationship, that percentage is based on what your significant other is lacking at the time, if that makes
Yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Like emotionally or,
Mm-hmm.
mentally, you are only capable right now of giving 85%.
Yeah,
So it's my job as your other half,
yeah.
the person
Pick
that
up the slack,
completes
right?
you, to pick up, yeah, and get
Yeah,
that 15%
yeah.
to make it a whole 100. And it doesn't have to be a negative where
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving 85%, he only giving 15%. It's
Mm-hmm.
like sometimes in life people go through moments,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that right there is one of the downfalls, I guess you can say, about a lot of relationships
Mm-hmm.
is people failing to want to pick up the slack for their significant other
Exactly.
when they're going through
But
something.
answer me this.
I'm
Okay.
listening.
Now we all have shortcomings,
Right.
right? We all have downfalls that
Mhm.
we go through
I should have a
as
lot of water.
individuals. And
Mhm.
like you said, if I'm going through something, as my wife, you'll be there to pick me up, and
Right.
same vice versa with me to you. But here's where the problem lies: if it's a constant thing,
Mhm.
like
Exactly. I feel
like
that.
like like if I'm constantly lacking and having shortcomings and not fulfilling my obligations to you, and you always constantly having to pick up the slack, you're gonna eventually get tired of that.
Mhm.
And you're gonna be like, hey, look at here, baby.
Understood.
And hopefully, we'll have that conversation like, hey, look, baby, you've been going through this for a while now. Hey, can we have a conversation to see what we can do to make this better?
Which goes back to our first episode when we talked about, consistency is
Mm-hmm.
being able to want to better yourself at all times.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that's an issue if a person's not willing to better
Yeah,
themselves.
yeah,
Now
yeah,
you asked me for the definition of resentment,
yeah.
right?
What's the definition?
So right here it says the meaning of resentment is it describes a negative emotional reaction to being mistreated.
Huh. So
Hmm.
how does that correlate with that quote?
So how can I put
For,
this
yeah, yeah.
plainly?
So we can
Okay,
understand.
if I'm constantly giving to you
Uh-huh.
in the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm constantly doing everything in my willpower to make sure that you're happy,
Mm-hmm.
to make sure that, you're taken care of and all that. And you just quote unquote crap on my feelings,
Mm-hmm.
kick them out the window. You don't watch what you say, you
Mm-hmm.
don't watch how you talk to me and all that. That is how it has a negative emotional reaction.
Mm-hmm.
So by you mistreating me, that's kind of low key making me look at you in a different light. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying?
Yeah, I get it. I
So
get it.
that's how it creates like that burden and creates that rock, that
Yeah.
tumor. That if gone untreated, if you don't treat that tumor, it's gonna get worse and worse and worse. And
Yeah.
it's like a cancer. It's gonna
Yeah.
eventually spread to another part.
Exactly. Exactly. And
It starts with the mind.
mm-hmm.
Dang, I'm thinking it, I'm feeling it. This dude's not treating me right and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And that cancer of the mind is gonna slowly spread to your heart. And after a while, you're gonna
Exactly.
just start feeling different about that person.
And you keep giving and giving because
Hmm.
you thinking, hey, look, well, this person, I know they can change.
Right.
I know this person can become a person that was meant for me.
Hmm.
But you got time that's going by.
Right.
1 month turns into 6 months, 6 months to
Right.
a year, 5 years, and you still going through the same old crap with this person, thinking that they gonna change because you constantly giving
Hmm.
and they constantly receiving, and it doesn't reflect back on you because you're not getting nothing back from them,
Yeah.
and you're not receiving anything back from them.
I mean, some people turn into the Janet Jackson song. They heard the song, "What have you done for me lately?" And it's like people are so focused on what their partner can do for them, and they're not
Yeah,
focusing, like, they focus on the physical things of what a partner can do. Like, you look
yeah,
at celebrities, they can give their wives the world. They
mm-hmm,
can give them all the brand new cars, all the Birkin bags. They can give them the world.
yeah,
Give, give, give. That's still a form of giving, right?
yeah,
But if they're not giving them the emotional attention that they need, they're not going to be fulfilled in that
mm,
relationship. And there's some people out there who's cool with that.
yeah,
There's some people out there like, hey, give me the world, baby. Do whatever you want to do. But if you are really in like that tight knit relationship, if you really have that bond, you can't just buy me a brand new 2024 Bentley
Yeah.
and expect me to be happy if I'm on Instagram and I see that you posted up in a groupie's hotel room taking
Yeah.
pictures. You know what I'm
I
saying?
get what you're saying. So there's three different levels to this:
Mm-hmm.
receiving and giving,
Okay.
physically,
Mm-hmm.
mentally,
Right.
and emotionally.
Right.
So
Question for you, sir.
yeah,
Of those three, which do you feel is more important?
which one is most important?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, they all have. I'm gonna just label it in a succession order because they all important to me.
Mm-hmm.
In the succession order, I say number one being emotionally.
Okay. Emotional support system.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. And number two being mentally, and number three
Helping with
being
that mental
physically.
health.
Yeah, number
Mental
three,
health.
and
I said mental health. Mental health. Mm-hmm.
but you have to make all
You
three
said
of
number
those
three is what?
physically.
Mm.
Yeah, exactly. But physical, it can mean two different things though. It can
Uh-huh.
mean making love to your partner,
Right.
or it could mean, hey, I'm physically about to buy you a gift.
Mm-hmm.
So it could be two different parts. But you notice that I say emotionally, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then I said mentally. The
Mm-hmm.
reason I labeled that succession is because if you're emotionally happy, more than likely you're gonna be happy mentally. But if yeah, think about it. Just think about it. If you're in a relationship, this person is making you happy emotionally.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna be that person gonna bring you joy,
Mm-hmm.
happiness, and you're gonna be in love.
Mm-hmm.
That's gonna affect your mental health. But if this person is not bringing you joy, happiness, and love, and you keep giving, giving, and they keep receiving, you ain't gonna. It's gonna take a toll on your mental health. Now you know that.
Yeah.
You
So I got
you
a question that might blow your mind.
yeah.
Like just your personal opinion. When it comes to a relationship and it comes to giving and taking, right? And what your partner takes away from you compared to what you give.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not 100% happy with what you're receiving compared to what you're giving, do you think that love, that emotional connection, is enough to want to stay in that relationship?
I got you. If you are emotionally connected, you
Mhm.
said you're emotionally connected, right?
Mhm.
If
That's
you
that
have that
love, right?
exactly, if you
Mhm.
got that emotional connection, that means you have that ability to communicate with your partner.
Mhm.
So if that is going on and you're not happy with that aspect, you need to get with your partner and have a conversation. Because if you're emotionally connected,
Mhm.
you can't be emotionally connected and not be able to communicate. That don't. It's like oil and
I
water.
mean, some people,
No, tell
listen,
me.
people
Give me
in abusive relationships,
okay.
they're emotionally connected. Yep, you looking at me crazy, but look, people in abusive relationships, they are a lot of times emotionally connected to their partner. He loves me. He slapped me because he loves me and he saw that I was doing something wrong. So that's why I said sometimes is love enough in a relationship.
I'm gonna have to disagree with you. I'm gonna just tell you why. You said they are emotionally connected, right?
Hmm.
If one partner is hitting the other partner, and this one partner said, "Hey, this person gonna change. I know they love me."
Hmm.
Only one of those partners, the one that's getting hit, and the one that's saying this person loves me, that's the only one that's emotionally connected. The
I
other
can't
partner's
say
not. So there's
that
a disconnect there in between the two. That
because
if
some
a, if
people
if
though,
a person loves you
uh,
emotionally, they will not do anything to put you in harm's way. They
bruh,
will not do anything to hurt
when
you.
you were a kid, I can't attest to this because I didn't get whooping. But when you were a kid and your mama gave you a whooping, she said, "I'm doing this because why?"
I love you, but at the same
so,
time, that's different. Let me tell you,
so
that's different.
But
Look,
I'm telling you, it's
look,
like that generational curse though
I
that
get you.
that moves
I
along.
understand that.
Where it's like I'm doing this because I love you, baby. We're gonna have to pause for a second.
Okay.
You guys, we're gonna take a short intermission. We're gonna pause for a second. I gotta grab a charger right quick. Guys, so one of the downsides about everyone in a family of seven, yeah, if you guys are new to the podcast, we are a family of seven. We have five
Five
beautiful
chillins.
children
Five chillins.
who every electronic they own is the same chargers as the electronics we own.
Yep.
So my MacBook has the same charger as a Chromebook. My cell phone has the same charger as their cell phone. And although we are extremely giving to our children and we give them their own chargers, somehow our stuff is always dead.
Yeah,
That's wild, ain't it?
and they ain't paid for nothing.
Jeez. So sorry about that, world. Baby, continue.
Yeah, where we left off at? I kind of.
We're discussing generational curses in love,
Oh
okay?
yeah. We was talking about the whipping thing. Okay,
Mhm.
it's a difference there. The reason I say that there's a difference there is because you're supposed to discipline your kids.
Mhm.
You don't discipline your lover.
Mhm.
And if a kid does something wrong, the way that our parents used to do it was, they spanked our butt because
Right.
uh uh uh, uh let me say this: action deserves a reaction.
Yeah.
So if I go out there and do something that I know, like if I act up in school
Mhm.
and cuss my teacher out like I did when I was in fourth grade, I think, call her every name in the book. Of course,
You better
our
apologize right now in case she listens.
I didn't. I didn't. I ain't gonna apologize. She was wrong for what she did.
So
But
listen, we got. I'm gonna say this before we come back to it because we will discuss this in another podcast. We'll discuss, upbringings and how it
yeah,
affects
but
your everyday
yeah,
life. So
yeah,
I'm gonna just say that. But sometimes back in the day, the man treated everyone in the household like their child. Like the way that he talks to his wife, the way that he talks to his kids, it correlated. But we're gonna come back to that. We're gonna put a fork in that because that's a pot. That was actually a topic that was requested by
okay,
one of our
yeah.
listeners.
We'll go back to that
So
one.
we gonna
That's
put
gonna
that
be
thing
good
down,
too.
flip it, and
That's gonna be
reverse it,
good.
and come back to that.
That's gonna
But
be
right
good.
now, when it comes to give and take,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I feel that quote one of the main my phone started ringing. Got phones ringing, buses going off. There's just a lot going on today, y'all. Um, I'm sorry, I'm full of distractions today. One thing that I look at that quote, right?
Uh huh.
He said that if he had a superpower, his superpower would be compassion,
Mm-hmm.
right? I think that one of the biggest things about give and take in a relationship
Mm-hmm.
is a person's ability to have compassion and understanding for their significant other.
Yeah.
Like that requires you, in order for me to give you everything that I think you need, and in order for you to give me everything that you think I need, I think it first takes us being vulnerable
Yeah.
to one another. That sounded weird. Vulnerable
Vulnerable.
to one another. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And if you're not vulnerable to my emotion, my needs, my wants, and if I'm not vulnerable to your emotions, your needs, and your wants,
Yeah.
that give and take kind of goes out the window. So I think compassion is like a strong word in that quote. Like you have to have compassion for your significant other
Yeah.
because in a world full of monsters, your significant other, your partner in life, that's supposed to be your safe haven. You know
Exactly.
what I'm saying?
Exactly. And you have to have that, and I agree 100,000% with what you just said. It also plays a point in not just that as well. You have to put your pride to the side, and you have
Mhm.
to set yourself to the side
Right.
and be willing to, sacrifice uh anything that you got going on
Right.
for the person that you love. Like, look, sacrificing. I believe sacrificing time
Mhm.
is major.
Yeah.
Like, look, I mean, I can sit here and tell you, hey, babe, hey, look here, I'm gonna sit here and watch this game, but we might not have one out on a date for a while,
Right.
and yeah, I want to watch the game or whatever, but I also got to realize, hey, look, who's who's been here for me this whole time?
But you know what though, baby? I think that goes both ways, Eddie. Like
Mm-hmm.
both ways. Like as a female, I enjoy watching
Yeah,
my team play.
yeah.
Go Falcons. ATL Shawty.
Hey,
Although they lose the mass majority of their games,
but hey, we still rise
we
up.
enjoy watching them play, right?
Yep.
But I know that my husband is a sports head. He likes watching all the teams, whether his team is playing or not. So a
Mhm.
sacrifice that I've learned to make is, even if I'm not interested in the game,
Mhm.
I will still sit there, chill with him, even if it's me scrolling through TikTok while he's watching the game. I mean, I think that's like a sacrifice of time as well. So it
Mhm.
goes both ways.
It does. It
Like,
does.
that's a very good example of the give and take.
Mhm.
I can't be selfish to be like, we got to go do something that I want to do every time. Sometimes I got to do stuff that you want to do.
Yeah. Exactly.
I
That's what
mean,
it's all
time is
about.
very important. We
Mhm.
we set aside time within our relationships. We do day dates at least twice a week.
Uh huh.
Every other week we actually do our dates, and then every other week in between that we do like family dates. We
Yeah.
take the kids out and
Yeah.
do stuff. But we sacrifice time for one another. But it
Uh huh.
isn't always just something I like to do. Sometimes we go do stuff that you like to do.
Yeah.
There's certain movies that we go watch, and I'm like, I am no way. I don't think I've ever made it through a superhero movie outside of Black Panther. Like, I have sat there, I've watched the first Black Panther, the second Black Panther,
Yeah. All
no
the other
issues.
stuff,
I'm like,
like
these are great movies.
I think
But
you fell
every other
asleep on
movie,
Avengers when you
shoot,
watched that.
I'm like, this is gonna be a good 2.5 hour nap. Anytime Marvel drops something new, but I still go.
Yeah.
I still sacrifice my time because I know you don't want to go see rom coms every time we go to the movies.
I'm gonna be honest with you on some. I mean, even though sometimes I be like, nah, I don't want to see this or whatever, and I don't want to go see it. But when I actually watch some of the stuff, I'm like, man, this one too bad,
Right,
and I actually
right.
enjoy it. Yeah, what was the other movie we just saw? The one with the girl, with the last rom com I think we seen was the one with the girl, and they was trying to get the boy's virginity or whatever. 'Cause I don't know, I
Oh
forgot the
yeah,
name
yeah,
of it.
yeah. I
Yeah,
forgot the name of it. I know
yeah,
what you're talking
no
about
strings
though.
attached with it.
I
Something
think it
like that.
was No Strings Attached.
Yeah, that was. I didn't want to see that, but it
It ended
actually
up
was a
being
good movie.
funny.
It was a good
Yeah, so it's like,
movie.
by you making that sacrifice
Yeah,
of your time, your energy, because you're trying to give and not just take, you actually ended up enjoying yourself.
yeah, it was a good movie.
And I think that right there is one of the issues in a relationship. People, certain people are too selfish to be in a relationship. Does that make sense?
Yeah, exactly. It makes plenty of
Like,
sense.
you can't always have the me factor.
Yeah,
Sometimes you have to have the we factor,
yeah.
the us factor.
Now, I believe that you can have the meat factor on certain occasions.
Mhm.
When I say certain occasions, I mean like birthdays, stuff
Mhm.
like that. You know, Valentine's Day. Because to me, Valentine's Day is like, I know what you say. It's for both people, for male and female, but I think Valentine's Day is more centered around the woman because that's
Yeah.
just what I believe.
I mean, but we also believe in our
Yeah,
relationship.
yeah,
It's like every day is Valentine's Day.
yeah. I
It's like
get
we
that.
don't wait till just that day to express ourselves. But no, like, even it's not even about having the me factor on your birthday. That's still the we factor because it's give and take on your birthday.
Mm.
I am going to try to tend more to your needs
Exactly. But the
during
person
that
that
time.
needs to get attended to, it's all about them that day.
Exactly. And that's that give and take.
Exactly.
So I think the maturity in a relationship is knowing when to give and when to take.
Yeah,
That goes
exactly.
back to knowing your partner's downfalls, like what we just talked about.
Hmm.
Sometimes I know when you have given all that you can give and you're at that point. Same thing with me. You know when I've given all that I can give and I'm at that point, to the point that sometimes you're like, here, babe, I'm gonna run you some water. You
Yeah,
go chill. I'll
yeah,
handle this stuff.
yeah,
So it's knowing your partner.
exactly.
Again, having that compassion to know your
Exactly.
partner,
Having that emotional connection.
having that emotional connection to know your partner.
Hmm.
That's
So,
like, at the end of the day, what we say all the time: teamwork, teamwork makes the dream work.
yes,
You know what I'm
do.
saying? It's us
Hmm.
against the world. So I think that right there, being mature, being understanding,
Hmm.
being compassionate, being connected on, what do you say, all three levels:
All three
physically,
levels.
emotionally, mentally.
Yep.
All that is what wraps into that ball of
Yeah,
give and take.
exactly. Exactly.
I'm
So,
getting sick. I feel it. Sorry, you guys.
so I mean, yeah. With that being said, man, like you said, it's both. both parties uh, have to be involved and willing to sacrifice as well as receive. I mean, you have to sacrifice something to show a person that you love them. And if one person is doing all the sacrificing and the other person is not, what are you truly giving to that relationship if you're
Right.
not sacrificing anything at all? And to me, that's a recipe for disaster because look, if you that one person that's hey, look, like we said before, just constantly giving
Right.
and you never receive nothing back from a relationship, is you are you in a healthy relationship? Is
Right.
that relationship healthy?
So I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if a person who's out there listening right now feels that they're in a relationship where they are giving more than they're receiving, what's your advice on how they approach that situation talking to their significant other?
It's look, you gotta come as respectful as you can, you
Mhm.
know, and if that person is willing to talk to you, and you wouldn't know if that person would be willing to talk to you based on the fact that you should have been communicating with this person since day one. If you have that connection, like we said, emotionally, you sit down with this person and be like, "Hey, look, I kind of feel like, hey, I'm putting in a whole lot of into this relationship, but I don't feel like it's equally given to me. Like things are not coming to me as well." And if that person's willing to listen to you, then maybe they don't know. No, maybe they don't know. Maybe they ain't never been in a relationship where they had to give before. And so you talk to them, they willing to work with you, and you're willing to work together. Maybe you may come up with a resolution to that.
I mean,
But
sometimes it's the talk that's difficult though,
yeah, it
because we've
can be.
had the conversation a lot
Yeah,
where it's like, you hear me, but are you listening?
yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So there's people out there who will hear what their significant other is saying, but won't listen to them.
Exactly. And that creates turmoil.
Right. So it's approaching a situation where they can get their spouse to listen to them. So if it was me, right,
Mm-hmm.
and I was talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
I would have to sit you down straight up, and it's just we got this type of relationship. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm gonna be like, hey, we need to talk.
Mm-hmm.
But we're used to talking to each other. We're used to communicating with each
Mm-hmm.
other. So it'll be something easy, but that's not easy for everyone.
Yeah.
Also, though, there are people out here who are giving more than they're receiving and not even realizing it.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they kind of brain dead at that point. And maybe they don't gave so much that it's just second nature,
Right.
and they used to giving and giving and giving, and not getting that back. Just second nature. I mean,
I mean,
that
I think it's more so human nature because
yeah,
growing up, when you look at relationships, you look at fairy tales and all that. The main thing that people used to say, like your parents, your grandparents, all that, is like, "I'm gonna give you my all."
yeah,
Like even when we first linked up,
mhm,
one of the first statements you told me was that you were gonna give me your all.
mhm,
You gonna spend the rest of your life trying to make me the happiest woman alive. Giving your all. So it's like you're so conditioned, human nature, to want to give, give, and give.
mhm,
But at some point in life, someone's gonna have to refill that.
yeah.
But how does a person know when they are drained?
It's
Like when
it's
they've given too much?
it's to that point. You only you will be able to know that. Only person that's gonna be able to know that is you. You have to have a conversation with yourself and be like, hey, look. Have I tried everything? Have I tried to communicate and tell my partner how I feel? Did we come up with a resolution? How long has it been since I've been trying to make this happen?
Mhm.
And you got to weigh the pros and the cons. And
Right.
sometimes, if the cons outweigh the pros, that ain't gonna balance.
Right.
It ain't gonna balance with your
So you gotta have
happiness.
that balance.
Exactly. So it ain't gonna balance with your happiness. So if you putting all that out there, sometimes you just gotta step away. I mean, it's hard, it's difficult, but if it's to that point, Well, the pros are with the cons, and you don't spend years and years trying to get this person together to understand where you coming from, and they still don't want to understand,
Mhm.
and they still act the same way they act before. It ain't going not to knock. Sometimes yeah, stuff take time. You know, some
Mhm.
people you have to actually talk to more than once,
Put in
and
that work, yeah.
but if they making the effort to make that change, and
Mhm.
every now and again they go out, hey, and go get something for you, you know, eh, appreciate that.
Right.
But if they just flat out like not doing anything and focus on just them and want to be the star of the show all the time,
Mhm.
that ain't right.
All
That ain't
right,
right.
so we gonna do this because we at our 30-minute mark. Boom.
Hey, look,
Already.
hey, we got to
Listen.
keep it going. We got to keep it
Nah,
going.
we at our 30-minute
We got
mark.
to
So
keep it going. We
what
got
the
to keep it
preacher say? Just
going.
give me 5 more minutes. 5 more minutes. So I look at it like this. These are my closing remarks. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I look at it like this. In a relationship, we have to get out of the mindset of you complete me. Uh, you bring out the best in me. Uh, you do this. We have to get out of that mindset,
Uh-huh.
and we have to enter into a mindset where he doesn't complete me or she doesn't complete me. They don't complete me. They complement me,
Mm.
which means where I lack, they pick up the slack.
Yeah.
Where they pick up the slack, it
Mm-hmm.
I put a pin in that and I come back because later on when they slacking, I'm gonna have to pick that up.
But
You
can
know
I
what I'm
say
saying?
this?
Hmm.
I like that. Compliment each other.
Right.
Instead of saying this person completes me,
Mhm.
can you say that we complete each other?
No, I don't think you
You
should
don't think you should say
complete
that either?
anybody. I think the person that you are with should compliment you. Because this is the thing. In order for you to 120% love somebody else, you first have to love yourself,
I believe that.
right? Because you
Yeah.
got to know what love is. You got to know how it is you want to be treated, and that's the vibes that you have to put out there. I can't carry myself like a peasant and expect my man to treat me like a queen.
I mean, yeah, that's
You
true.
get what I'm
But
saying? So,
a man can do this. Anybody, not just a man or woman. You can treat yourself as a peasant when you find the right person. They make you feel like a queen, and you
they
start carrying
compliment
yourself
you.
as a queen.
But yeah, see, so they compliment you.
Yes.
They
Yeah.
they compliment you. They don't complete you.
Yeah.
They compliment you.
But you
And
don't
that's
think
the
as a
thing.
whole they complete each other.
No, they compliment each other. For instance, food, right?
Uh-huh.
In some cultures, I'm not gonna say which ones. In some cultures, macaroni and cheese is a
Mm-hmm.
complete meal, right?
Uh-huh.
Complete meal, right?
What culture that is because
But in other cultures,
I
when you add the barbecue,
uh-huh.
the collard greens,
Uh-huh.
the dressing,
That's my
you
type of
see,
culture right there.
all of that is completing. It's not
Uh-huh.
completing, excuse me,
Hold on,
it's
hold on. You forgot one thing.
complementing.
You forgot one thing. You gotta have some Kool-Aid or something with that now.
And you get your Kool Aid. So, by itself, that mac and cheese can
Mm-hmm.
be a complete meal, right?
Yeah.
But when complemented with all those other dishes, boom,
Mm-hmm.
it blows your mind. It's breathtaking.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like one
Yeah.
thing is adding to another things
Yeah.
and the flavors are
Yeah.
mixing and it's bringing out
Exactly.
the buzz. Before you know that you got the itis.
Exactly.
I ain't never got the itis off of just mac and cheese. But I got the itis when I mix that mac and cheese
Mm-hmm.
with my collard greens. I do my little vegan baked chicken.
You
I'm
got the
on it.
itis. You
Now, you
full.
got the itis. You're nice and full
Mm-hmm.
because they have all complemented each other. Could
Mm-hmm.
you have a complete meal with just that mac and cheese? In
Yeah.
some cultures, yeah. I can say the same thing with spaghetti. You think spaghetti is a complete meal. Me, on the
Yeah.
other hand, I think it complements fried chicken. I think it complements fried fish.
Yeah.
But you think it's a
Yeah.
complete
Yeah.
meal.
We were
So,
raised on spaghetti and cheese toast.
right. But when you compliment, the first time I complimented your spaghetti with the fried fish, it blew your mind, right?
It did. At first, I was a little confused. I'm like, how you gonna mix two main courses
Right.
together?
So that fish can be complete on its own, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That
Yeah.
spaghetti can be complete on its own, right? But
Mm-hmm.
when you put them together and you complement each other with it, it brings out something more amazing.
It was definitely.
And that's how
good.
relationships are.
Yep.
You as an individual, you can be complete on your own. Me as an individual, I can be complete on my own. I can have everything going for myself. You can have everything going for yourself. You can have your own money. I can have my own money, my own house, your own house, and all that. We complete on our own. But when we complement each other,
Yep.
that's when you bring out the bigger. That's when you bring out the better. Because you heard the saying, 2 minds are greater than one. We busting off of each other.
Hold on. No pun intended. No pun
we
intended.
we busting off of each other. Like our minds are busting off of each other. Where
Yeah.
it's like you're like, oh babe, I got this idea. I think we should do this, that, and the third. And then you like, boom. Well, if we're gonna do that, let's take it up a notch. Let's do this with the podcast. I'm like, babe, I think we should start doing like TikTok videos, stuff like that. You remember back in the day and all that other stuff. And then we're like, bruh, but we sit down and we have our talks every week. Like once a week, we sit down, we unwind, we have our talks. Why not turn that into a podcast?
Yeah.
I'm like, dang, that might be a good idea. So then we started this podcast, and then you're like, okay, we got this podcast. Let's do some merch. Like, dang, merch would be good. Let's do some merch. It's like we're bouncing off of each other, you know, and we're making something greater.
Exactly.
Where you could have accomplished this on your own. You could have had people just sitting there listening to you talk. I could have accomplished this on my own. I could have just had people listening to me talk. But when we're bouncing ideas and we're bouncing opinions and we're bouncing feelings and all that off of each other, that's what makes the platform that much greater.
Exactly, and it comes from more than one perspective.
Exactly. So that's why I said closing remarks. Give me 5 more minutes, and that was 6 minutes ago. So look. That's my closing remark. So don't get you someone who completes you. Get you someone that compliments you. And don't have someone bring out the best in you. Don't have someone make you best. Have someone who makes you better. Say it makes you a better person, because you already the best on your own. Get someone who can compliment you.
Absolutely.
You got anything you want to add?
I mean, I'm gonna piggyback with what you said. I mean, that's getting somebody that compliments you, that brings out the best in you. A person that's willing to, go with you full throttle, and you go with them full throttle, the thing as a whole. I mean, that's the barbecue recipe for success.
Putting this junk in overdrive and taking off.
That's barbecue chicken with all the sides and everything.
Right.
So if you got that, and that person's willing to do that, even if they ain't 100% there yet and they're working on that, give them a little time, but don't give them too much time to the point where it starts driving you crazy mentally.
Or you can compliment them and push them to do something
exactly. So you would know if they're right for you. You'll know if they're actually trying to make those changes for you, and if you're making them changes for them, because maybe the person listening to this right now could be the one not sacrificed.
Right.
So you're trying to find out what you got to do in order to make that change as well.
Right.
That's all I got.
Well, that's all I got. As usual, though, you guys, if you want to reach us, you can go ahead and reach out to the email askkcvibe@gmail.com. We're also available, KC Vibe Podcast on TikTok, KC Vibe Podcast on Instagram, KC Vibe Podcast on Facebook. We do go live on Facebook, so be sure that if you go over there and you like the page, you turn on your notifications so you can know when we on there clowning.
Absolutely.
Because we like interacting with you guys.
It's a fun time.
You're going to hit me up on TikTok. I'm AO_KO and the number 2. Chad doesn't know any of his stuff.
Just hit the link tree.
So we're going to connect that in the link tree.
Yep.
So, y'all can go ahead and link up with him as well, I ain't got nothing else to add. You got something else to add, baby?
I'm good.
Yo, so thank you guys again for coming and vibing with us on this here Friday.
Yep.
Had some technical difficulties, but Negro, we made it.
Yep, we made it. We made it.
So we will see you guys next week. Same time. What's up, baby?
Who you? Who you?
What I what?
You the K?
Huh?
You the K?
I thought you had something to add. Messing up my tagline.
My bad.
As always, you guys, I am the K.
And I'm the C.
Thanks for vibing with us. We will see you guys next Friday. Bye.
C.